The medical bay smelled of antiseptic and ozone. Ellis wiped his hands on his already stained lab coat and glanced at the chronometer. Another 16-hour shift on the frontier station. Another day of patching up miners, traders, and the occasional foolish mercenary who thought they could handle Epsilon Sector's lawless territories. The door hissed open, and Ayla stumbled through, supporting a figure cloaked in tattered gray fabric. "Ellis, I need help," Ayla called out, her voice tight with urgency. She was one of the station's few human security officers, tough as neutronium and twice as stubborn. Ellis hurried over as they lowered the wounded alien onto the examination table. When the cloak fell away, he froze. The being before him was unlike anything he'd encountered in his 5 years on the station. Her skin held an iridescent quality, shifting between deep violet and midnight blue. Forearms, 2 of which hung limply at her sides, extended from a torso covered in what appeared to be ceremonial armor, now cracked and scorched. Her face, while humanoid, possessed an otherworldly elegance: high cheekbones, large eyes that gleamed like polished obsidian, and delicate antennae that drooped with evident pain. "What happened?" Ellis asked, already reaching for his scanner. "Found her in the lower docking bay," Ayla explained, stepping back to give him room. "Looks like she was ambushed. There were 3 Kravix mercenaries running when I arrived. They didn't stick around." The alien's eyes focused on Ellis as he approached. She tried to speak, but only a weak clicking sound emerged from her throat. "Don't try to talk," Ellis said gently, his professional instincts taking over. "I'm going to help you. This might hurt a bit." He scanned her body, and the readouts made him wince. Multiple plasma burns to fractured limbs, internal hemorrhaging, and what appeared to be toxin in her bloodstream. "By all rights, she should have been dead, Ayla. I need you to get me the xenobiology kit from storage. The blue container, 3rd shelf." As Ayla rushed off, Ellis began working. His hands moved with practiced efficiency, cleaning wounds, applying synthetic skin, administering broad-spectrum antibiotics. The alien watched him with those unfathomable dark eyes, never flinching even when he had to reset one of her broken arms. "You're tougher than you look," Ellis murmured, more to himself than to her. Most beings would have passed out by now. He noticed intricate markings along her arms and neck, not tattoos, but something that seemed to glow faintly beneath her skin. Probably cultural significance, he thought, careful not to damage them as he worked. Ayla returned with the kit, and Ellis found what he needed: a universal coagulant that worked on most carbon-based species. As he injected it, the alien's hand shot out with surprising speed, gripping his wrist. Not hard enough to hurt, but firm enough to get his attention. Her eyes met his, and for a moment, Ellis felt as though she was looking straight through him, measuring something he couldn't comprehend. Then she released him and laid back, the tension leaving her body. "I think she's trusting you," Ayla observed quietly. "Let's hope so," Ellis replied, continuing his work, "because the next part is going to be unpleasant." The toxin required a chelation treatment that Ellis had only performed twice before, and never on this species. He prepared the injection carefully, double-checking his references. One wrong calculation could kill her. "Here goes nothing," he whispered, administering the treatment. The alien's body went rigid, her back arching off the table. Ellis held her down as gently as he could, whispering reassurances he wasn't sure she could understand. After what felt like an eternity, but was probably only 30 seconds, she relaxed, her breathing becoming more regular. Over the next hour, Ellis worked tirelessly, treating every injury he could find. He splinted her broken limbs, sealed her wounds, and hooked her up to a fluid drip to combat dehydration. Throughout it all, she watched him with those knowing eyes. Finally, he stepped back, exhausted. "That's all I can do. The rest is up to her constitution." "Will she make it?" Ayla asked. "I honestly don't know, but she's fought this hard to survive. I'd bet on her." The alien's hand moved slowly, reaching toward a small pouch at her belt that Ellis had carefully set aside. Ayla moved to help her, opening it to reveal a small crystalline device. The alien's fingers brushed against it, and suddenly a holographic display sprang to life, showing text in a dozen languages. One of them was Standard Galactic. Ellis's eyes widened as he read the words: "Her Majesty, Supreme Commander Vexari, Queen of the Talshik Empire." undefeated champion of the 100 worlds, protector of the void reaches. The list went on for several lines. Oh, Ayla breathed. Oh no. Ellis looked down at his patient. No, at the queen with new understanding. The ceremonial armor, the markings, the incredible resilience, and the Talshek Empire. He'd heard whispers. They controlled 17 systems in the galactic core, and their military might was legendary. The Talshek themselves were considered the most formidable warriors in known space, and their queen had been lying on his examination table while he'd poked and prodded her like any other patient. The Queen Vexari made that clicking sound again, but this time it resolved into words as the device translated. You helped me, asked nothing, knew nothing. I'm a doctor, Ellis said simply. It's what I do. Others would have asked, would have bartered, would have used me. Her voice grew stronger as the translator calibrated. You treated me as someone who needed help. Nothing more. That's all you were in that moment, Ellis replied. Vexari's expression, if he was reading it correctly, seemed almost amused. The Kraviks were hired assassins, specifically to kill me during diplomatic transit. They failed to kill, but succeeded in wounding. She paused. They did not expect a human to interfere. Neither did I. Were full of surprises, Ayla said dryly. The queen slowly sat up, ignoring Ellis's protests. I am in your debt, human healer. The Talshek do not forget such debts. No debt, Ellis insisted. Just get better, and maybe don't travel through stations like this alone next time. Vexari made a sound that might have been laughter. My guards were killed in the initial attack. I fought my way to your station, hoping to find sanctuary. Instead, I found something rarer: compassion without expectation of reward. She touched the device again, and a new hologram appeared, showing coordinates. When you need aid, human, you need only call. The Talshek Empire will answer. I'll keep that in mind, Ellis said, though he doubted he'd ever use it. For now, you need rest. At least another day before those bones finish knitting. I have rested enough. Vexari stood, steadier than she had any right to be, and gathered her cloak. But I will remember. Ellis, healer of humans. Ayla, warrior of humans. The galaxy is changing. Your people have more strength than they know. She walked to the door, paused, and looked back. Perhaps that is why we will need you in the days to come. Then she was gone, leaving Ellis and Ayla staring at each other in the empty medical bay. Did that just happen? Ayla asked. Ellis looked down at his hands, still trembling slightly from exhaustion and adrenaline. I think I just treated the most dangerous being in the galaxy with a basic trauma kit and some antibiotics, and she thanked you for it. Yeah, Ellis laughed, the sound slightly hysterical. Just another day on the frontier, but as he cleaned up the medical bay, he couldn't shake the feeling that something significant had shifted. In helping one wounded stranger, asking nothing in return, he'd somehow changed the calculus of humanity's place in the galaxy. Perhaps the HFY stories the old spacers told weren't so far-fetched after all. Sometimes humanity's greatest strength wasn't in weapons or technology, but in the simple act of compassion extended to those who needed it most, even when those beings could crush entire fleets with a word. Ellis smiled as he powered down the lights. Tomorrow would bring new patients, new challenges, but tonight he'd helped save a queen, and that was enough.